From its inception, this practice started off like ass cheeks, booty cheeks. What to do when that happens? I don't know anymore. I know not a goddamn daggone motherfucking thing. Got out here a little late. The sun was going down. Stayed after the sun went down. Should have gotten out of here a little bit earlier, blah, blah, blah. But I got plenty of sleep. And this is what's frustrating me the most about these kind of crappy practice or whatever. I know I got enough sleep. I got more than an ample amount of sleep. So while we're sitting here doing mathematics and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, well, I can eliminate one variable from the equation. Second thing that comes to mind is the second thing that was frustrating me the most today was why am I slipping? This, I don't know if it's just ground or whatever. It was kind of driving me crazy, but I was slipping kind of all over the place during that, and I'm just like, what is going on here? The entry felt off, the turns felt off, it all felt off, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and when I do this, I try to do self monitoring the best that I can, but the shitty thoughts come in, and I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You've got to be crazy. You've got issues. You've got demons. You've got problems. You can leave and go home. I don't know what you think that you got to prove, because you ain't got nothing to prove. You go home and eat your steak and go eat your burger. Ain't nobody holding you up from doing that. And I hate when I do that, because I feel like such a bitch. But I know I'm not the only person that's ever done that on the face of the planet that's started thinking like that, especially in the middle of doing something like this. And I can laugh about it now because I've gone through this iteration enough times for me to kind of be able to work through it. But it's not a fun feeling. So anyways, out here with the 15-pounder again. The hip flexors is what the conclusion was, and that was honestly bothering me a little bit today as well. Wasn't wasn't a nagging thing, but in football, and the thing is that when you get injured as an athlete or what have you, you have this propensity to try to protect the injury, or you have a potentially try to wince or flinch with certain injuries or whatever, especially with a contact sport like football or what have you. And with this, I think that when you do that, it can be a lot more detriment, because that inch or that one little tweak that you're trying to protect yourself from like aggravating again, is keeping you from getting into the correct position to actually execute the right technique. And I think that was what was going on here, and why I kind of calm myself down. But I can't believe in the life of me throwing the hammer. This little hip flexor tweak has never been a problem. Never, ever, ever been a problem. And I've taken a lot of throws. So the fact that this little wince, and it's not a major thing or anything like that, I just feel it when I'm throwing. I just feel it. It's a small but noticeable. It's a noticeable thing. When I'm trying to accelerate, when I'm getting to 3 and 4, I can feel myself start to sort of feeling it, and it's not a big pain, but there's some sort of imbalance or something, or it needs to be strengthened, or old wear or too much wear and tear, or etc. And like I was saying, could be from the copious amount of squats that I was doing the earlier point, and I kind of felt it in my hips, but I didn't think that it was going to come to this. So the problem that I've had in the past was the hamstring. That has led to some frustration or whatever with the throwing. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's been going on here. It's kind of been complete fucking ass cheeks. And I don't know if I started smoking crack the other day, or I got high before I came to, or what. I don't know what it is, but extremely infuriating. Got to go back to the drawing board. Gotta work the problem. Can't let yourself get too frustrated, because a few days ago it felt good, and I'm not measuring. I'm past the point where I measure success on the distance of the throw, on that as a only metric. That is, I am far past that point. I think that's That's a very, very trite method. It doesn't, trite's the wrong word, but it's very, very, it's only partially useful, and some of the time for you to use this, the success or not success of a practice on that. When it doesn't feel good and it's not, and you'll see I dumped a couple throws here and there when I'm not completing throws. That is what can drive me up a wall. Not incompletion of throws, and then sectoring the far left, or just like that, or sectoring far right, which doesn't happen too much, but those types of things is what I can, if I'm getting in the right positions most of the time, or I can feel myself getting some consistent movements is what I'm looking for most of the time. Some consistent movements and as smooth as possible, and not straining, not it being such a strenuous. It shouldn't be this extremely exhausted every single time you go to throw. It should feel nice and easy. And I learned this from the discus. I mean, my best discus throws were some of the easiest throws that I took. So I live and I learn. I take that information from now and I put that into the throws now. But I hadn't been able to relax through some throws, and I think that's because of that little tweak. But I don't want to completely blame it on that. But you go from having a progression, from going in the right direction to get slapped in the dick, to slapped in the face or what have you. That's extremely frustrating. That's extremely frustrating. So gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Gonna have to figure out what's going on. Gonna have to look at these throws a little bit closer and get to the bottom of it. But can't let myself get too frustrated. Can't let myself get too angry. Can't let the anger demons, get to me, because that's no good. That is no good. But that's just about all I got. You already know what the deal is. Running your toes, keep your mouth closed, lock your doors, and save your throws, and most importantly, let fight another day. I'm gonna get out of here.